Lunchtime, food for thought. If you don't laugh a little, well, it ain't our fault. We got a good recipe and memories, 'cause after all, it's lunchtime, food for thought. We have a big time at lunchtime, food for thought.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime Food for Thought. This is Johnny Ivy. With us today, we have Brother Nick Keller, Miss Judy with us today. And it's our honor to come in to wherever you're at, either in your vehicle or your home, or if you're sitting in a drive-through or sitting in a parking lot, or if you're sitting in a break room, wherever you're eating your lunch. Then we hope that you can laugh along with us and enjoy just a lighter side of programming here on WDCY, WDPC, and WNEA. And so Brother Nick's going to get us started off today.
Yeah, so thankful to have each and every one of you on there. We're going to get started with a round of jokes. It's always a great time to get started with some jokes and the humor that we can have with each other. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right off into this, guys. Why is there was a man that was sitting there. He invited a friend over and he said, "Why in the world is your dog growling at me while I'm eating?" Dave said to Steve. And he says, "Does he want me to give him some food?" And he goes, "No, he's just mad because you're eating off his plate."
Oh,
It's amazing how dogs can be so finicky about certain things.
Oh, yeah.
My dog, a couple weeks back, we showed a couple pictures and we talked about him, but a couple weeks back. But I think that dog probably scares any postman, any Amazon delivery driver, any FedEx man with his bark. It sounds like he wants to eat him and destroy every bit of him. And the funny thing is, he's just a nice dog. If you would let him open, he would just sniff his hand and lick his hand, and that's it. But behind that door, man, it sounds like he's about to eat him alive.
Yeah, that's why when we had that beagle, she could not stand the UPS man. I mean, as soon as she heard the truck coming down the road, she would just start barking and going crazy. And but he never done anything to her or nothing like that. She didn't like the truck. She didn't like, I guess, the sound of the truck or nothing. She'd just go crazy. But every time he'd make a delivery to the house, because he'd hear her barking, he'd always bring her a treat.
Hey, that's a smart thing to do right there.
How to win friends and influence your enemies.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly right there. How about you, Sister Judy? Do you have a joke for us?
I do, and mine's about seniors. You know, they're always good for a good joke. And, of course, not all seniors, or not only seniors, have problems with their eyesight. I know some younger gentlemen that have trouble with their eyesight, but maybe not quite as bad as a senior would have. So this 80-year-old man, he loves to play golf. And so he goes to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Well, you still enjoying playing golf?" He said, "Well, I love to play golf, but the problem is I can see to hit the ball. I just can't see where it lands." And the doctor says, "Oh, well, I have a solution for that. I believe I can help you out there. I know this 90-year-old man, and he'd be glad to go along with you. He's looking for somebody to fellowship with, so he'd be glad to go along with you as your spotter." So he thought that was a great idea. So they got together and they went to play golf, and he hits the ball, and he asked the 90-year-old man, he said, "Did you see where it landed?" He said, "Yes, sir, I did." He said, "Well, where did it land?" He said, "I can't remember."
Yeah.
It's one problem or another, isn't it?
Yep. Well,
I see.
How about you, Brother Johnny?
Yeah, I got a couple for you. One is, why was the guy fired from the automobile assembly line?
I don't know.
He was caught taking a break.
oh.
Here's one. Dad said, "What did you learn at school today?" The son replied, "They taught us how to write." Dad said, "Wow, what did you write?" The son said, "I don't know. They haven't taught us to read yet."
Oh, out of the mouth of
That's
babes.
about the size. That's about the size
Yep.
of it.
Oh my goodness. There was one puppy that had decided to try to figure out what it was, and he ate an onion. Do you know what happened to the puppy that ate an onion?
Hmm.
His bark was worse than his bite.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Miss
pretty
Judy,
good.
did you have another joke?
No, I just had one today.
Okay, that's fine. Well, why don't you share with us a good riddle?
Okay. What can run but never walks, has a mouth but never talks, has a head but never weeps, has a bed but never sleeps? What am I?
You said a head but never talks.
A head but never weeps, it can run but never walks, has a mouth but never talks, has a head but never weeps, has a bed but never sleeps.
Is that a
Yeah.
river?
It is a river. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
Yes.
Good job, Brother Nick.
Yeah. How about you, Brother Johnny?
All right. Yeah, I got a couple. What does a gorilla use to fix the sink?
A monkey wrench?
A monkey wrench. There you go. There you go. All right. Good job. All right. You break it every time you say it. What is it?
I don't know.
Mm,
Silence.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And I tell you what, some people have trouble. They feel it's very awkward with silence, don't they?
Oh yeah. Sometime riding down the road, we play the quiet game with the kids. Oh man, most time it don't last long.
Oh,
yeah.
it doesn't. It does not last long at all. In fact, this past weekend, I was with my younger brother. We were reminiscing about mom and dad. And I said, "You remember when mom used to say, 'Little Red Schoolhouse'? That was how she started the game all the time. And as soon as she said that statement, you had to be silent. And if you said anything, you were lost. And I remember for hours sitting here, trying to be as quiet as you possibly can, just so you can win. Because sometimes you were the person that got the milkshake first,
Oh,
Well, I got a riddle for you guys. When can you add 2 to 11 and get 1 as the correct answer?
At 11 o'clock.
That's right. 11 o'clock. You add 2 hours and you get 1 o'clock. Good job, Sister
there
Judy.
you go, Miss Judy.
So,
all
so,
right.
so since Judy's on this, I'm going to give her one more, see if she can get this one now. You have 3 stoves: a gas stove, a wood stove, and a coal stove, but you only have 1 match. Which should you light first?
The wood stove.
No.
I was
You don't
thinking
you don't light the gas, the wood, or the coal stove because you only have 1 match. You light the match first.
oh, oh boy. Tricky.
That's right.
Oh,
How
yeah.
about you, Brother Johnny? You got a church bulletin bite for us?
I do. A lot of times you hear statements around the church, and a lot of times people say things, but they don't mean what they say. And so I'm going to give you the phrase, and I'm going to give you the real meaning of what that phrase really is. Here's one. I'm going to do 2 of them, if that's all right.
Yes, sir.
I won't promise, but I'll do my best. You ever heard that?
Yep.
Okay, what that really means is don't expect much out of me. That's the real meaning of it. And here's another one. It needs to be done. Heard that through the years.
It
Mhm.
needs to be
Here's
done.
what that really means is I'm not going to do anything about it, but the church ought to.
Yeah, right. Somebody ought to do something about that.
That's right. That's right.
My goodness. It reminded me, you talk about, church little bits and stuff like that. Somebody sent me a picture on Monday, and I told a story on Sunday at church how my wife just has a little trouble knowing and identifying farm animals, certain farm animals. She gets a sheep confused with a goat, and she'll get a swan confused with a duck, and she'll just has some trouble with that a little bit. So I mentioned that in a message, and they sent me a church marquee, and it said, "It does not take a genius to spot a goat in a herd of sheep." And he said that for Miss Kimberly right there.
Oh,
Oh.
that's pretty good.
But it's the truth, right?
Yep.
Well, I've got something that a funny thing that no, I'm sorry, Miss Judy. She's going to be doing a solve this, and I failed to mention this to you earlier. But you're going to need to grab a sheet of paper. You're going to need to write some things down here for this, so that way you can have all the answers and enjoy. Last week, we did something with a bunch of numbers, and you can go back through Facebook and YouTube and watch those. But we did something with numbers. And you put in the first 3 digits of your phone number and a couple other addition, subtraction things and multiplication things. And then you add the last 4 digits of your phone number. And when you did it all, boom, your phone number populates out. And it was amazing to see. So grab you a sheet of paper, get you a pen, and write down these things. So Sister Judy, what do you have for us today on this?
Well, today we're going to guess your age today.
Huh.
So
Mr.
write
Judy,
down.
you're 39, right?
Yeah, I'm
Guessing
39 and yeah, I am. Okay, so write down your age, then multiply that number by 5. Add to that number 8.
Okay, hang on just 1 second.
So write down your age, multiply by 5, add 8, then multiply by 2. Subtract 6 from that number. Then multiply that number by 10. Subtract 100 from it. Divide it by 100. And you should have your age.
Yep, I got it. I got it.
I showed some of these to my grandson. He'd raise his eyebrows up, like, how? I can't explain it, but it works.
There's some math in there somewhere. I know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, speaking of age, some of y'all might think this may be young, but for somebody who was young, and this may also be a monumental thing. 2 days ago was my birthday, and I just passed over the River Jordan, and I'm now 40. So,
well, everything's gonna start falling apart, Brother Nick.
it started at 39. Amen.
Yep.
But
40. I love being 40, though. I thought 40 was a good age.
Well, I thought that about 30. So I'm anxious to see what 40 has to hold. I do know this, that I'm having to stop eating as much as I'd like to eat in my 20s and my 30s, and I'm sure it's going to get worse in my 40s as well.
40s.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, let me share with you guys a little bit about what some funny things kids say. There was a 4-year-old that asked their parent, says, "Can we get a kitten?" And the parent said, "Well, I'm allergic. We can't be in the same house together." And the little 4-year-old says, "Well, you could sleep outside." Oh, what a great funny toy of thinking along the lines.
Yeah.
There was one little boy, he says, someday, or a 6-year-old there, and his parents were talking to him. He says, "Someday you'll have, you know, a little crush on a little boy or something like that. And a little 6-year-old girl says, I'm already, you know, having feelings for them. And mom responds, really? And she goes, yeah, they make me mad.
Oh, just wait, dear.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Well, Brother Johnny, you got a tongue twister for us?
I got a tongue twister. I don't know how this one to go. This and a little bit tricky, and so we'll see. So, does your sports shop stock short socks with spots? Well, that's pretty good.
That was really, really good.
I didn't even practice.
Say it again.
Oh, now I don't know if I can do it a second. Does your sports shop stock short socks with spots?
There you go.
That's pretty good.
That's a tough one there.
That
I tell you
is.
what, Brother Johnny can handle some tongue twisters, not me. The other day we were doing a tongue twister, and I'll bring it for us for the next week and let you guys try it there. But there's no way I was able to get it done. All of my kids couldn't get it done without it getting us backwards and forwards and all sorts of things. So it'll be a great time. We'll share it.
That'll be a good test, Brother Johnny.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there we go.
Exactly. Well, let me share some news with you that you just can't use. There was a state trooper for the state of Utah that had recently recently pulled over a suspected impaired driver on a U.S. highway. He was really amazed when the car was kind of swerving back and forth, really only going about 15 miles an hour down the interstate. And the trooper put the siren on. He pulled safely over to the side of the road. And then through the dashboard camera, the police officer, the state trooper, pulls a person out of the vehicle, only to find it was a 5-year-old boy driving the car down the interstate.
Wow.
5-year-old boy. And this is what he said. He goes, I got mad at my mom and I took her vehicle because she told me that I could not buy a Lamborghini.
Oh man, you wonder how did he reach the pedal?
Oh, how is he still alive? That's the amazing thing.
Oh yeah.
My, I can't imagine. So
Yeah, that's what Hunter. He said, I'm gonna get me a Lamborghini. I want me a Lambo. We said, well, you might start saving up now, and maybe by the time you're 90, you might be able to afford one.
My oldest boy, he constantly he loves spending money. And this is what he does. He spends money he doesn't even have. He's told me, Dad, I want to buy this car and I want to get this. I said, son, you realize that's more expensive than any car that I've ever even owned, you know, and you want this as your first car. And yeah, I'm going to work. I'm going to get my first job this summer. By the way, he still has not worked a day this summer, but it's all things that he has in his mind. And he wants to buy this, he wants to buy that. And I said, okay, son, how much money do you have right now? And he goes, Dad, I got maybe 80, 90, probably close to $100. I said, okay, let me see it. He goes, well, I don't have it. And I said, how do you say you have $90 if you don't have it? And he goes, well, I'm going to get $25 for my birthday. And, you know, I did some work for Grandpa the other day and he owes me $5 there. And I said, okay, once you get all that money, that's $30, not $90. Where do you have 90 from? And he's just got this figment of his imagination of where all this money is coming from that he's going to buy things. And it gets to be quite comical.
Oh
boy.
Man, that's funny.
They get a real dose of life when they graduate from high school, don't they?
Oh yeah. Be like Stacy
Make some decisions.
Yeah, be like Stacy whenever she was growing up at home. Her and her mom would be at the store, and Stacy would want something, and so her mom, you know, would tell her, say, "Well, just use your money and you buy it." She said, "Oh, just forget it then."
Yeah,
it makes a difference when you got to use your own.
Well, and amazing enough, when you deal with financial things, you know, using cash as opposed to a card and some of the responses it makes in your own brain. I remember about 12 years ago, Miss Kimberly and I started to really separate all of our cash that we're going to spend for the month, whether it be groceries, gas, things like that. And we'd pull all that money out. So she knew exactly how much was in that envelope, how much she could spend on groceries. And she said the first time she went to the cashier and she got a pack of gum and she was about to ring it up, and they said how much the pack of gum was going to be. And she had to pull that cash out and thought, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, you know,
Makes
this
a
is all I
difference.
have. And this is, I'm spending right here. And she's like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And she put it back, you know, because it
Yeah.
really changes seeing what
Oh,
you
yeah.
have and paying
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. I've got a little grandson that he's 7 years old, and he wants to save every dime you give him. I bought him a bank one year for Christmas, and it's like a teller machine. It makes noise and all that, and he loves putting that cash in there. And but he won't spend it. And he don't want you to borrow it. His mom tried to borrow some, and he went and told his other grandmother that mom and daddy's hurting. They need to borrow my money. You know, when you don't have any cash and you go run to the store, you want to. He don't want nobody messing with his.
Well, we work off of a monthly budget. And in our monthly budget, you know, the beginning of the month, hey, man, the envelopes are full. Things are great. I mean, I can tell when it's the beginning of the month. Miss Kimberly comes back from the grocery store. Man, we got more than anything. She bought candy and cookies and yummy stuff and things that aren't really necessary for living. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, we're at the beginning of the month. And at the end of the month, we feel poor as dirt. I mean, we're like, all right, tuna fish sandwich today. That's all we can afford. You know, hey, we're gonna have spaghetti tonight because it's a cheap meal. And at the end of the month, the kids, you know, it may be one kid here and one kid there, but they always ask and they say, Dad, are we hurting? For money? Is there a problem with our finances? And is everything okay? I said, son, every month we are as broke as a joke by the end of the month, but every month we start fresh and new the next month.
Yeah. Oh, me.
So speaking of that, Miss Judy, treat it like it's the 1st of July. We've got a big bank account and we've got a lot of budget, and give us a recipe that we can spend some money on and enjoy here at the beginning of July.
Well, mine's simple today.
Oh,
This would have been good for. This is good at the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
Now this is. We talked last week about. I did mention about how I love pinto beans and cornbread, and I believe you said you didn't eat cornbread till you came south.
that's right.
Well, this is Mama Joyce. She's that good old Southern cook off of Facebook and YouTube. And I keep saying that because I want to make sure I give her credit. But hers is Southern Golden Cornbread.
Mm.
Preheat your oven to 400. Take 2 cups of cornmeal, and of course that'd be self-rising. Add 1 egg, and she uses Crisco. And she got her a handful of Crisco in the palm of her hand. She said that'd be about a cup. And so she had to add that much of Crisco to the mix. 1.5 cups of milk. And she said 1 teaspoon of sugar is optional. And blend all that together. She greased her pan real good, and she used a cast iron skillet.
Cast iron skillet, yeah.
Yeah. She greased it real good with some more Crisco, and she baked it for 20 to 25 minutes in that 400-degree oven. And when she dumped it out, it was just as brown and pretty as it could be.
How many minutes in the oven, sis?
20 to 25, depending on your oven.
Okay. I'm going to have to try that
Southern
there.
Cornbread.
Now, my mother-in-law, you know, I've seen my wife's grandmother make it in a round cast iron, but my mother-in-law has purchased a square or more rectangular shaped cast iron cornbread dish. So when you cut it, it makes, you know, you don't have to make a round cornbread piece. You can actually make a cut piece there. And But I love some good Crisco or Crisco.
Oh, well, you gonna love this.
There's your cup full right there.
That's right. Throw it on there, amen.
I haven't used Crisco. I haven't made anything with Crisco, and I couldn't tell you when. But
my mom's recipe for making pies uses Crisco in the pie crust.
I've always heard it makes it real flaky. The Crisco.
Yes, it certainly does there. And I remember one time, have you all ever heard of oleo?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I asked her one time, I was like, what is oleo? Is it like a ground up Oreos or something like that? But it makes everything better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you, Judy. Appreciate that recipe there.
Okay.
Well, today we're talking about some of the first jobs that we have ever had growing up. And this, in a lot of ways, you guys are probably going to find out some of our security questions for our intimate passwords, where they ask, what is your first job? And you have to type it in to get access to the internet. But the first job that I ever had was as a dishwasher. I washed dishes in a small little tea house down in the Fayetteville area, downtown Fayetteville. And my brother was the chef there, and he would take me and drive me to work, and I would wash dishes all the day long, and he would bring me home at the end of the night. And I had them palm olive hands, and washed dishes. They didn't have the big dishwasher there. I mean, I had to literally wash them, rinse them out and do the thing. And that was the first job I ever had, cleaning dishes. It was yummy. How about you, Brother Johnny?
Well, I guess the first unofficial job, I guess, and probably most boys, 11, 12-year-old, is you get a push board, you get a gas can, and you go around the neighborhood and cut people's grass. Well, we had one of the men up the street, and so he said, I'll pay you $25 if you'll cut my grass. Well, sure, we'll cut your grass $25. I mean, that's pretty good money, back then. And so we got through, and I mean, his yard was immaculate, edge sidewalks and all of that. And so we got through, and he gave us $5. And, and so, well, he said he's going to give us $25. He said, well, here's $5. And he said, go buy you some school clothes. And so I said, man, that won't even put socks on layaway. But that was, I guess, our first unofficial job. But I guess the first official job was bagging groceries at the grocery store. We did that for just a short time. I hated that. I enjoy outside.
Which grocery store were you at?
Then it was Winn-Dixie.
Okay.
And so that was, I guess, the first official job we had. We done that for a few months, and then I did get on with a landscape company, and so I did enjoy that.
That's good.
That'd be harder work, though, wouldn't it?
It's more enjoyable.
Outside, yeah.
Outside, yeah.
I
can imagine.
I'd much rather cut grass and bag groceries. But I did learn something. I still, and kids today, they don't know how to bag groceries. Mm-hmm. And watching them, and they'll put, they don't put all the cold stuff together. I mean, they'll put canned stuff with cold stuff, and I mean, it does like.
They'll put your hamburgers with your Tide detergent and everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so that was my...
What you should do nowadays, this is what will really get them, is ask them to put a brown paper sack inside of a grocery bag and to put your stuff in like that. We used to have folks that would do that all the time. That was maybe the second job, maybe third job that I had as a part-time boy. I worked at the Publix there on Highway 5, and I was a bag boy up front there, and And I remember they took us through bag boy classes, and they taught us how to bag things right. And I'm like you, Brother Johnny. I tell my kids, like, there'll be no bagger person there, and I'll be like, come on, I got this. And I'm bagging that thing up like that. And the kids are like, Dad, how are you so fast at that? And I said, I took classes.
That's right.
You think, man, your childhood was awful, Dad.
Oh yeah. But back then it was the brown bags. You didn't have the plastic bags.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Well, since the pandemic has been going on, we've been buying all of our groceries online at Kroger, and we go to the one up on Ridge Road, and they bag our frozen or cold items. They'll still bag them in a brown paper bag. That's the first I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's good stuff there.
Yeah.
Well, Sister Judy, how about you? What was your first job?
Well, my first job was running a dry cleaning route. My dad drove me around, and I took that job over after Kenneth gave it up when he was, I guess, when he graduated from high school. And so I ran the dry cleaning route, and we'd take them and get them clean, deliver them, that kind of thing. So that was my first job. But then the first one that I had a real boss other than my daddy telling me what to do was at Six Flags. I went to work at Six Flags when I graduated from high school. I did that the summer before I went to college, and so I'd have me some spending money of my own. And not that I didn't get it from my dad, but you know what I'm saying, that was my money. For the first time. The dry cleaning route didn't give you much money. But anyway, I worked at Six Flags and found out fast food area wasn't for me. I worked in the food industry there, and I didn't really like that much. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing to see how jobs change over the years, from bagging groceries to that once was an art that no longer is, to learning on the ropes of things that you can have in your life that can become part of your own. Like Sister Judy mentioned, that's my money. And it's the hard work that really fuels the United States of America. And whether it's what may be considered a small job or it's a big job, jobs are important for the United States, and I thank the Lord for that there. So, well, I know time has left us today. We thank you so much for tuning in. We hope and pray that you've had a wonderful time together. I appreciate Brother Johnny and his ability to be here with us, and the humor he brings, and Sister Judy, and what you do as well, and how you blow our mind with some of the amazing solve this that you've been bringing lately, and we thank you so much for that. And remind you, we'll be again re-airing this episode this Saturday at noon, so listen in, tune in again. Also, I really want to challenge you to give us a call here at the radio station. Let us know what this means to you. We'd like nothing more to put you out in the air and just say, hey, we love our lunchtime food for thought, and just leave a 30 to 60 second testimony of what this radio station means to you, maybe this particular program and what it means to you. It'd be a great encouragement to us, and it may help other people to get channeled into this time as well. Well, thank you so much for being on. I'm Nick Keller.
Johnny Ivy.
See you later. This is Judy.
Bye now.